Good morning, Western Slope. Happy Tuesday. I'm Dalen Brazelton. Let's talk about your weather. Folks, expect a warm one today across the Grand Valley, but it's a warm that we kind of expect. It's not that overly hot triple-digit weather that we were seeing last week. Taking a look at America's Mattress Live Tower Cam, we've already got a gorgeous sunrise on the way due to all these clouds, kind of creating some interesting colors behind me around Mount Garfield. We've got another day of windy conditions expected for today, and hopefully the end of that red flag warning that has been pretty consistently in effect since last week as that nationwide heat wave continues to head throughout the region. All that and more in today's full weather forecast. Right now, though, you're waking up to 63 degrees in Grand Junction and Paonia and Nucla. Look at that. Montrose at 65 degrees. Delta seeing a little bit cooler conditions in those upper 50s, with Glade Park and Moab seeing very similar conditions to the rest of the Western Slope. We've got a pretty mild, consistent start to the day across the Western Slope. Now, we're going to expect to see that warm up over the course of the day. However, we've got those low 60s hanging out for most of the morning before that sun really starts to heat us up. 90s expected around that 1 o'clock hour for this afternoon, and that's going to continue on and stay in those low 90s for most of, if not all of, the afternoon and evening. We've got mostly clear conditions today. However, we'll be seeing some cloud coverage throughout the day, while we've got some potential for rainfall in the central mountains. Not expected to see any here. However, we are hopefully expecting to see the expiration of these fire weather warnings across the Western Slope. Some areas like Montrose County have already cleared out, but the Grand Valley is still seeing some of that going into the Glenwood Canyon as well. So this is just that drier air, higher chances for fire in this region. Now, a lot of this has to do with three key factors, with what keeping it a red flag warning. We got those high temperatures, we have low humidity, and high wind speeds. Hopefully, as those wind speeds die down today, that's what's going to cancel this red flag warning and hopefully have it not be reissued for tomorrow. Now, as we track that heat wave that's been going across the country right now, that high pressure is starting to push a bit south into that Virginia area, and so that's just trapping all of this heat in essentially a dome. Being in the valley, I'm sure that you know about inversions where some of that heat can kind of be trapped in. That's essentially what we're seeing here, as this high pressure just kind of traps this hot air in there and just keeps circulating it. So not only is it incredibly humid because it's on the coast, but they're seeing triple-digit temperatures. Just horrible. For that dog walking forecast, we got Virgil hanging out with us here this week, and it's going to be a great one to take your dog out for a walk in these morning hours. Take a look at this. We got 63 degrees heading our way at 7 a.m. However, we do have those wind speeds really starting to pick up throughout the day. 16 mile-an-hour wind speeds at just 7 a.m. alone. That's really going to be kicking up these allergens. Taking a look at that pollen outlook, with grasses being the main concern of your allergies. Weeds and mold, though, also a concern, still in that low category, though. Keep all that in mind, because they're definitely going to be blowing around. Right now, Grand Junction seeing 13 mile-an-hour wind speeds, and as we head throughout the day, that's really expected to pick up, especially throughout the valley and then some of those higher elevation regions. Glade Park seeing 17 miles an hour in those afternoon hours, and then things kind of shaping up from there. But as we take a look ahead at that Discovery Auto Group 7-day forecast, going to be seeing those low 90s for most of the rest of the week, and then things really starting to ramp up by the weekend, getting close to 100 degrees again. Montrose, slightly cooler, same idea, seeing those mid 80s, and then things starting to ramp back up into the 90s. So if I were you, I would definitely enjoy being outside right now, because things are shaping up to get a heck of a lot warmer.